Happy New Year and welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. I wanted to make this video both for myself and for anyone who is, trying to hold themselves accountable for something. So I do want to set some goals for myself for this coming year, and then the aim is that at the end of the year, I can look back at this video and then see what have I accomplished. Maybe if anything fell through the cracks that I wanted to accomplish but didn't, or maybe new goals that I'm probably not thinking about right now, but maybe within the couple coming months, like maybe something comes up that I want to kind of reach towards. So I want to obviously set realistic expectations. I'm not gonna have like a laundry list of things that I want to do this year. I am just gonna start off very small. And I do have two specific goals in mind to start the year. One of them is I do want to work on my health. I live a very an indoor person. Most of my hobbies, all of my hobbies actually, all of my hobbies are indoor hobbies. I like reading, I like drawing, I like playing games, so nothing really outdoorsy. My jobs for as long as I've been working have always been in an office setting, so I'm always sitting at a desk, and so I've never really carved out the time to do any type of exercise because I never really saw the need for it. But obviously as one gets older, you start concerning yourself, or at least in my case, I started thinking a little bit more about my health, and it may not be hitting me right now, but at the rate that I'm going, I do see that, as I get older, then more things will start hurting, things will become harder for me to do, and so, I'm trying to avoid all of that. So I'm trying to work on my health. I did start going to the gym recently too, maybe like 3 weeks or so. I started at the end of December, mid-September, December, yeah. Because I didn't want to go like the first day. I feel like everybody goes January 1st because that's everybody's resolution, like I'm gonna go to the gym. So I wanted to kind of start building the habit a few weeks in advance of that. So I have gone to the gym a couple of times now. I don't have like a set routine yet. I'm still kind of getting a feel about the machines. But I do have, I'll start with cardio, then I'll try to do some type of like upper body machine thingy workout, and then I'll end with cardio. I found out that when I first signed up, they did like a little personal assessment, and I'm very unfit. I mean, I knew I was unfit, but ridiculously unfit. So they were nice enough. They gave me a couple little pointers, but I just haven't really set a routine, like a written routine, like I'm going to work on chest, upper back, arms, triceps, or whatever the case is. And it's mostly been because when I go, certain machines are always being used, and I always feel weird just hovering, waiting for the person to finish so that I can use the machine. And so I'll kind of just go with whatever is available, and that makes it a little bit harder to kind of stick to a solid routine. But I don't know. You guys have any suggestions for that? I guess I could try to do some stuff at home just to have a little bit more consistency, and then if I go to the gym, then whatever is available is what I can work on. But yeah, so for my health goal, that's just it. I'm just trying to go to the gym more often. I did wanna it would have been a lot easier for me to just try to work out at home. I have parks nearby, I could go exercise there. But just who I am, paying for something makes me feel like I have to use the thing, so it's not a waste of money. So I was like, perfect, I'll just purchase a gym membership, and then I'm gonna have to use it, or else I'm just gonna be fucking just gonna be throwing money down the drain. And so we'll see how that goes. So far it's been going, it's okay. And the second goal I have for this year is to become a court interpreter. So it's been a long journey. I'd say I've been on this has been my goal for the past maybe 5 years or so, coming on 6 years. It's been a very slow journey. When I went to university, I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. I did graduate, and like many of us, couldn't really find a job where I could apply my degree. And so I just took any office job that I could get. And then one of the things that unexpectedly happened was I was always being asked to interpret for people who spoke or who didn't speak English well enough. And so that is the first time that I heard of an interpreter. I don't think it ever crossed my mind that that was even a profession. And so I did see, that you could get like certified, you had to take an exam. And so I started looking into that, and I ended up signing up or registering for classes with the Southern California School of Interpretation with Nestor. Amazing course, a lot of valuable information. When I registered for it, or at the point in my life where I was at, I couldn't afford to take the whole course in one go. So it's like a 10-week. Is it 10 weeks? Yeah, it's 10 weeks for one course. You do that. It's like intro to it. Then you do another 10 weeks. It's broken up basically into 4 different classes. The first 3 classes, you're learning the methods, the types of interpretation, the type of skills that you need, the types of note-taking. You're also learning all of the vocabulary that's needed, because it's a lot of legal terms, and so you can't just explain a term. You have to use the legal interpretation of it. So the first 2 courses focus on that, is how to interpret, how to note take, and then just learning the language or learning the terms. And then the 4th course is they prepare you for the exam. So it's a lot of practice. They give you a lot of resources, labs that you can work with. You are graded. And so it's supposed to be like a 9 to 12 month program, depending on, how you set yourself up or how your schedule is. I don't know if they had I don't think they had a hybrid version when I was taking it. I know there was an in-person option before, but then the whole thing with COVID happened, and so I want to say that when I was taking it, it was only online. So I was doing that just online. So it was a lot of like, you would listen to a lecture and then self-study and then listen to the next lecture and stuff. But point being is it's supposed to be like a 9 to 12 month program, but it took me 2 years. And I would take a couple months between each course. So I would do the 10 weeks, maybe take 1-2 months off, take the next one. And so it took me a total of 2 years to go through all 4 courses. And I mean, I passed it, but I don't think I was excelling in it. Yeah, like I wasn't putting as much time into it as I should have. And so I got through the course in like a really slow time. And then at the end of it, I felt decently prepared. But I was just very hesitant. And so even after passing that course, which again, it took me 2 years, it still took me, I want to say, like another year to register to do the exam. So you do a written one, and then you do the oral one, and then you get certified. So it still took me like a whole year after finishing the classes to register for the written one. I did the written one, I passed it on my second try. I didn't pass it the first time. But I passed it on the second one, and then I did the oral one, which I didn't pass, and I've now taken that twice and I haven't passed. And so I sort of took a long pause because I wanted to really think about it. Is this something I want to do? The answer is yes. So I know I just have to put a lot more time than I had in the past. And so that is one of the goals that I have this year, is kind of building better study habits. I was maybe just studying for like an hour, 2 hours every other day. Like, it wasn't very consistent. And my thing was always like, well, I have to work, or like I'm tired from working. And I know all of those are excuses. Like, if you really want to do something, you can find the time for it. It's just, you just have to prioritize certain things. And so that's going to be one of the things I want to focus on this year. So you might see a couple of videos about that. I'm going to try to, create more self-study material for myself, because I already have all of the vocabulary that I got from Nestor in the class that I took. And like I said, that's a lot of vocab that is super, super useful. But I think it's just being able to retrieve that vocab. If I read it, like, I can interpret it. Like, I think looking at it is a little easier to kind of retrieve that from my brain. But for some reason, when I'm listening to something in English, there's a bigger lag in me being able to retrieve that term. And so I remember one of the things that Nestor has suggested was creating these audio files for yourself. So just reading like a list of vocabs, and then as you're listening to it, interpret it, and that's going to help you retrieve these terms a lot faster. I also did start listening or following Interpreter Luisa on YouTube, which is amazing, because when I was taking the class with Nestor, I had looked up some stuff on YouTube, and at least I couldn't find anything specifically to help interpreter study. And so just, I want to say this year, last year, 2025, I ran into Interpreter Luisa's channel, and she took the same course. I think she's in a different state though. I'm in California. I don't quite remember where she's from. But she took the same course, obviously, online, and so she has a lot of videos on the terms. She does kind of group them either by alphabet or kind of by topic, and she does a really good job at explaining or breaking down, like if it's like a long phrase, breaking it down so that you understand the terms and then what the actual translation is, because as you may or may not know, it's not literal translation, so a lot of the words, sometimes the order switches just because of how the English language is structured and the Spanish language is structured. So her videos are amazing. They are super helpful, and they like kind of motivated me to start this channel, because I was like, oh my goodness, like I want to do what she's doing, except I didn't really want to focus too much on just interpreting, so that's why I left the main channel very vague, so I could kind of talk about this and that. But yeah, so I'm thinking of maybe also doing something similar. Maybe not I wouldn't go too into depth on why I'm interpreting certain things, but maybe just creating those like audio files to help me sort of study, and then maybe help someone else study who may or may not also want to be a court interpreter. But yeah, so for now, those are my two main goals: working on my health, becoming more fit, and then studying to be a court interpreter. It's been this many years into this journey, and it doesn't look like anything else kind of draws my attention, at least in terms of like my profession or my career. So I'll do it eventually. I don't have a doubt in mind. It's just, how soon will I get to that will obviously depend on how much time I put into it. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys, what your goals are. If you have any tips or suggestions as far as, going to the gym or even studying. Obviously, it doesn't have to be studying specifically to be a court interpreter, but if you're learning a new language, like how do you study that? How do you, I don't know, any tips that you have, any suggestions? I do use both physical flashcards, and then I have an app on my phone, and so any other suggestions about apps or just methods that you use to study, would appreciate to get some suggestions. And yeah, I think that'll be it for now. So hopefully we'll see more of each other in the coming year. I wish you guys the absolute best, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.